I've been seeing a lot of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth popping up in my timeline lately,
Everywhere I go, I see his face.
which makes sense given its recent release and how much I freaking love it.
I've only had Arlo for a day and a half, but if anything happened to him, I would kill everyone in this room and then myself.
Very violent eulogy, I like it.
What doesn't make sense is the amount of people complaining about how many minigames there are.
Master Skywalker, there are too many of them. What are we going to do?
I mean, yeah, sure, there is a crap ton of content in this game, which I see as more of a positive than a negative, but whatever. And the minigames, with a few exceptions here and there that are required for the story, are entirely optional.
It's optional.
Not only that, but I would say the vast majority of the minigames here are incredibly fun and aren't complicated or hard at all to complete. And if you love the original Final Fantasy VII, I hate to break it to you, but that game had a shit ton of minigames too. So if anything, that makes Rebirth even more faithful. The problem I'm seeing is when people are getting filtered
Filters won't replace themselves.
by these minigames. Just admit you're not good at them and move on. Stop breaking your head in against a wall constantly just to try to pass it. All you need for mandatory ones is to just get through the minimum requirement, is the bare stage 1 minimum. That's it. Move on. Go back to playing the main story and stop whining about the optional content. Now, let's take a look at the mandatory content then. You have to play a tutorial of Queen's Blood, but that game rocks, so stopping at just the tutorial is insane to me. You gotta ride the dolphin to gain enough speed to get to Upper Junon. You have to participate in the Junon Parade with the same minigame from Remake at the Honeybee Inn. You gotta play as Barrett in 2 shooting gallery segments, which are actually kind of short and fun. And first entering the Gold Saucer, you gotta do the tutorial for 3D Brawler. I'd say the most heavy force participation of minigames is when you go to Coastal del Sol and you have to play a few minigames to earn cards to trade in for beachwear to continue the story. Now, it's some of those things are so minuscule and they take a minute at a time. Now, every mandatory thing you have to do to progress the story is short and easy. They take maybe 3 minutes tops a piece. It's such a small blip in an easily 100-hour game that it's crazy that it sticks out for some people so much. I'm probably missing some mandatory ones because honestly, I played this game to 100% completion, so the line between optional and mandatory eventually blurred for me because I was intent on doing everything anyways. I can't wait to hear people complain in part 3 when we gotta go snowboarding, even though it's gonna be awesome.
The ship's unique design suggests there were no fatalities.
Huh? Oh, come on! You gotta admit this is cool!
The only one I would argue, again, it's also optional, is annoying to me is the Gears and Gambits one, kind of. On hard mode, where, I don't know, it's just the way the rules are explained and the way the UI is set up is confusing sometimes. And I think we can all collectively, as a community, agree that Fort Condor is ridiculous, especially on hard. I did it, but when Chadley called me up and was like, hey, I unlocked hard mode for you after I struggled beating the 4 of them on normal, I wanted to kill him. But again, all optional. So that's a small gripe, but it's still optional. Anyways, thanks for watching, checking it out. I just wanted to talk about this out in the open about these mini games, which I find actually a lot of fun.